Hello friends, welcome to my channel, myself Parag Zambulkar. In last video, we have seen CUDA program for addition of two matrices. In this video, we will discuss CUDA program for multiplication of two matrices. So in last video, we have seen how to add two matrices and also we have seen different cases or different options for that. Generally, when we add two arrays or two one-dimensional arrays, at that time, we require blocks and threads those are arranged in one-dimensional space. While for addition of two matrices, we require blocks and threads which are arranged in two-dimensional space. Look at this. Here, in triple angular bracket, so here we are calling that kernel, and in triple angular bracket we have mentioned two things. Second is number of threads per block, while we have used two dimensional block structure. So here we have used this data type that is provided by CUDA.h, that is a dim3, to create multi-dimensional block structure or thread structure. This is the variable, so any name we can give. So here we have given grid, you can give G, T, P, any variable we can use. This is the number of columns. First parameter is the number of columns, while second parameter is number of rows. So here 3 into 2. So we have created 6 blocks. So here we have created 6 blocks, but these blocks are not linearly arranged. These blocks we have arranged them in a two-dimensional space. So how these blocks are arranged? We are discussing this matrices addition program because same structure we have to use for matrices multiplication. So here we have created 6 blocks. In each block there is only one thread, but we have arranged them in two-dimensional space. So that's why each thread has two block IDs. One is block idx.x and another is block idx.y. As this is a collection of blocks, so we call them grid. So here we have used griddim.x. So griddim.x means dimension of a grid, that is the number of blocks in that grid along the x-axis. So along the x-axis is how much? 1, 2, 3. So that's why 3. If you take grid dim dot y, so dimension of grid, that is the size of grid, that is the number of blocks in grid along the y-axis. If you take dot y, so how much it will be? 1, 2. So that it will be 2. Now here each thread has two block ID. One is block idx.x, that is the ID along the x-axis, and another is block idx.y, that is the ID of that particular thread along the y-axis, that is the 0 and 1. And here block id.x is 0, 1, 2. So here in this case we have created two-dimensional blocks, and in each block there was only one thread. Now look at another case. So in this case, in triple angular bracket we have mentioned two parameters. First is number of blocks, so we have mentioned only one block, so we have created only one block, and in that block we have created two-dimensional thread structure. So here we have mentioned 3, that is a number of columns, 2 number of rows. So 3 into 2, total 6. So in that one block we are creating two-dimensional thread structure, and how many threads are there? 3 into 2, that is 6 threads are there. And for that again we have used the data type dim3, which is provided by the CUDA library, and one name we have given. So any name you can give, any variable you can use there, and same variable we have to mention here. So here one block we have created, and we have created 6 threads in that block. So look at this. So here only one block. So this is the only one block, and in that block we have created 6 threads. But these threads are not linearly arranged. Those are arranged in two-dimensional space, that is along x-axis and along the y-axis. So that's why each thread has two thread ID. One is thread idx.x, that is given by thread idx.x along the x-axis, and another is given by thread idx.y, that is the thread ID along the y-axis. Now see, in this case we have used blockdim.x. So see, for finding ID we have used blockdim.x. So blockdim.x means what? Dimension of a block, size of a block along the x-axis. So what is the size of block along the x-axis? 1, 2, 3. So along the x-axis, what is the size? 3. If you take blockdim.1, so dimension of block, that is the size of block, that is the number of threads per block along the y-axis. If you take dot y, so along the y-axis, how much it is? 1, 2. So it will become 2. Blockdim dot y will becomes 2. That while blockdim dot x is 3. Why 3? Because size of the block along the x-axis. So what is that? 1, 2, 3. That's why it is 3. So same multi-dimensional block structure or thread structure we will use for multiplication of matrices. Now see, suppose we are multiplying these two matrices. This is the first matrix and this is the another matrix. So it has size 2 into 3 while it has size 3 into 2, and that is the resultant matrix. Now see how values are computed: 2 into 5 plus 4 into 6 plus 5 into 3. So here we got the first set. Then how this value is calculated: 2 into 4 plus 4 into 2 plus 5 into 1. So we got this value. How this value is calculated: 2 into, sorry, 1 into 5 plus 3 into 6 plus 2 into 3. So you get this value. In the same way we will calculate this value. So how it will be calculated: 1 into 4 plus 3 into 2 plus 2 into 1. So we will get this value. Now see, here suppose we will assume size number of rows in first matrix is row 1. So col 1. So row 1 is the number of rows and col 1 is the number of columns in this matrix. While second matrix has row 2, there is a number of rows in second matrix. Col 2 means number of columns in second matrix. So what is the resultant matrix that we get? Row 1 into col 2. That is the size of resultant matrix. Row 1 into col 2. Now see, when we multiply these two matrices and whatever the resultant matrix we get, so there are two techniques for calculating this. So in first technique we can use one block for finding this, or one thread for finding this, another thread for finding this, one thread for finding this, and one thread for finding this. So we require four threads: one for this, one for this, one for this, and one for this. So we can create, in first technique we can create only one block and we require four threads. So okay, so we can have one block and in that four threads. But how that four number we got here? That is the size of the resultant matrix. But what is the size of resultant matrix? Is this. So here instead of 4 we can make row 1 into col 2. So we can call like this. We can call the kernel by making these many threads are this. So we have created one block and these many threads we have created in that block. So one thread for this, another thread for this thread for this, and this thread for this. So how many threads we require? This many. Or same thing we can do like this. So we can create this many blocks and we can call one thread per block. Same thing. So in that situation we have created four blocks and one thread per block. So again it is same thing. So one block for this, another block for this, third block for this, and fourth block for this. So this is how we can multiply two matrices. So the same thing. So we'll just focus on this only. Both are the same thing only. So we are creating one block and one thread responsible for calculating this. Another thread is calculating this. Third thread is calculating this, and fourth thread is calculating this. So how many threads we require? These many threads we require. But how much? How we find out this? How we got this number? This is the size of the resultant matrix. Okay. So just I remove this. Okay. This is the one technique. For that, I have provided program for that. So you can go through it, and this is the kernel return for this. So here, while calling this is one thread per block, and how many blocks you have created? This many. Call to. So actually, it is a number of columns and is a number of rows. So row one into call to. So whatever we have removed just now. Okay. So this program is the first one. Okay. This is the example of that. So we are creating two-dimensional block structure and one thread in each block. So two-dimensional block structure and one thread per block. So see, row 1 into call 2. So this is the number of columns and this is the number of rows. Okay, and kernel will be written like this. Okay, so id we have to properly manage there. So this is id is given by this, and how the matrices are multiplied, in that way we have to manage this id. I will provide a link of this program in description box. Just go through it, you will come to know. Okay, and in the same way how we have added the two matrices, in the same way we have arranged these blocks and thread. Okay, so this is the first way, this one program for this, and second program we have written for this. Okay, this is the second case. Okay, so I have created just one block. Here you can see, here we have created just one block, and we have created two-dimensional structure of thread. So how many threads we require? Row 1 into call 2. We have created two-dimensional structure of thread. So row 1 into call 2. Number of columns, number of rows of resultant matrix. Okay. So that is the one way of calculating two matrices. So here what we are doing, one thread for this, another thread for this, third thread for this, and fourth thread for this. Now I am telling another way to calculate this matrices, matrix multiplication, and that is by using shared memory. Now see how we will calculate this. We will use one block for this, another block for this, third block for this, and fourth block for this. Okay, in this way we will create number of blocks, and this multiplication will be calculated by one thread. This is by one thread, another thread. So one block, and in that block there will be three threads, one for this, another for this, and this thread. In the same way, one block to calculate this, and inside that block we'll create one thread for calculating this, another thread for calculating this, and third thread for calculating this. Okay, now I will tell how shared memory is used in this case. First we'll find out how many threads are required and how many blocks are required. So just I put semicolon here. Here is the number of blocks, and another side number of threads per block. So see here how many blocks we require. One block for this, another block for this, one block for this, and one block for this. So how many blocks we require? We require number of blocks equal to the size of the resultant matrix. But what is the size of the resultant matrix? Row 1 into call 2. So these many blocks we require. and inside each block how many threads we require? This 1, 2, 3. But from where we got this number? We got this number from this call 1 or row 2. So here I can mention call 1 or oblique row 2. Both are the same thing. You can mention call 1 or row 2. Both will be same. So see, when we have to multiply two matrices, so it will be 2 into 3. So if it is a 2 by 3, so it should be 3 by 2. So call 1 and row 2 should be same. Whenever we have to multiply two matrices, in that situation, suppose this is the size of first matrix, this is the size of another matrix. So call 1, that is the number of columns in first matrix, should be same to the number of rows in another matrix. So call 1 and row 2 are same. So we can take call 1 or row 2. So that is the number of threads per block. So how many blocks we require? Size of the resultant matrix. So that's why we have taken row 1 into call 2. And how many threads in that block? This is one thread, and this is a one thread. So how many threads we require? Equal to the call 1 or row 2. So here we can mention call 1 or row 2. Anyone you can mention there. Now see, to save this result we require shared memory. So one thread will calculate this value, will save in this sum array. Okay, so suppose see, we have p of 0, p of 1 and p of 2. So we'll create one array and that will be saved in shared memory. So one thread will calculate this value 2 into 5. So that will be saved here 2 into 5. That will be saved here. Then 4 into 6. That will be calculated by another thread. So 4 into 6. 4 into 6. That will be saved in P of 1. Another thread will calculate value 5 into 3. 5 into 3. 5 into 3. That will be saved in P of 2. So we'll declare array P and that will save in a shared memory. We will declare one array P and that will save in a shared memory. So threads will calculate this value. Okay, and afterwards that sum we have to calculate. So sum for what purpose? This, for calculating this. In the similar way we have to calculate sum for this. In the same way we have to calculate sum for this, and in the same way we will calculate sum for this. So now we are talking about this. So we'll calculate sum is equal to p of 0 plus p of 1 plus p of 2. Okay, so this is way, in this way we'll calculate this sum. Okay, now see, p is in a shared memory. One thread is calculating this value, another thread is calculating this value and saving here, third thread is calculating this value and saving here. Now see, when we are calculating this sum, by that time all the threads they should have finished their work. So here we have to stop and we have to make sure that all the threads they have finished their work. So for that purpose we have to synchronize these threads, and to synchronize these threads we call this one function. This is called as sync thread. We call this function and then we are calculating this sum. So what this function is doing? It is making sure that all the threads they have finished their work. So one thread is calculating this and saving here, another thread is calculating this and will save value here, third thread will calculate this value and will save here. All these three threads they are running simultaneously. So we want to make sure that all the threads they have finished their work, and then only we are adding them, we are calculating this value sum. So for that we are calling this function that is provided by CUDA library, and that function name is sync threads. So it will make sure that all the threads they have finished their work, and then we are calculating this value. Same thing here, it is represented by kernel or CUDA program. Okay, look at this. So here we are declared one array P, and it is saved in a shared memory of GPU. And what is the size of this? It can be call1, it can be size of this array will be call1, or you can take row2 also, no problem. This is the size of P. Then here we are calculating, each thread will calculate this value. So one thread will calculate P of 0, another thread will calculate P of 1, then third thread P of 2. So all threads will finish their work. We are calling here function sync threads, so it will make sure all the threads they have calculated their value, and then we are taking this sum. So that will sum of the one cell of the resultant matrix. So this is a one block. In the same way, another block will calculate, third block, fourth block will be calculated. So this is how we are multiplying the two matrices by using shared memory. I will provide this link in description box. Just go through it, you will come to know. So while calling this that I have told, so we are launching grid. So we are creating two-dimensional block structure, and here we are creating this. So what do I do? This is the number of blocks. So here you'll come to know this is the number of blocks. So grid we have called. So see, its size is row 1 into call 2. Row 1 into call 2. Here we have to mention number of column first and then number of rows. And each block we have to create this many threads. So see, here I have mentioned call 1. We can also mention row 2. These many threads we can use for, in the number of threads will be there in each block. So we have used shared memory. So one block for this, one block for this, one block for this, one block for this, and one thread for calculating this value, one thread for calculating this value, one thread for this calculating this value. So how many blocks we require? Size of the resultant matrix. So what is size of resultant matrix? Row 1 into call 2. And how many threads we require? This. Either call 1 or row 2. Call 1 or row 2. And we have to save this value in a shared memory. And we will save this in a shared memory, and then we will call sync thread function to synchronize the threads, and after that we will add them and we will calculate the sum value. So this sum value will be for this is the sum value. In a similar way, sum value will be calculated for the same way, sum value will be calculated for the sum value will be calculated for this. So this is how matrices multiplication or matrix multiplication is done by using shared memory. I will provide this link in description box. Just go through it. So this is the program where we are not using shared memory, and this is the program where we are using shared memory. Just go through it. You will come to know. So friends, I hope you like this video. If yes, then click on like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press bell icon so that you will get notification of my next video. So stay connected. Thank you.